more than half the country saying that they're worse off today than they were 4 years ago in a new CNBC poll, and a national deficit that will pass the $1 trillion mark tomorrow for the fiscal year for the fourth straight year. Conventional wisdom saying that President Obama should be losing, but there's a slew of national and swing state polls that show President Obama building a small lead against Republican rival Mitt Romney. Joining me now to make sense of some of it, political reporter for Roll Call, Shira Toeplitz, and Washington bureau chief for the Chicago Sun-Times, Lynn Sweet. Good afternoon to both of you ladies.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Let's take a quick look at the polling here. President Obama up by 5 in a Fox News poll, 6 in a Bloomberg poll, 3 in a Politico poll, 7 points in a National Journal poll. Why do you think, Ms. Toeplitz, that the president is edging out Mitt Romney in these polls when the economic recovery has been so slow?
Well, it's a fairly complicated answer, and a lot of it has to do with voter attitudes towards the economy, less so than even voter attitudes towards Obama or Mitt Romney. In many ways, and the National Journal poll really detailed a lot of this, in many ways voters have gotten used to the idea of a poor economy, at least a lackluster one, and they've kind of gotten used to it. An interesting fact in the National Journal poll was that although a quarter of the people who said the country was headed in the wrong track are still supporting the president. So they've basically gotten used to the economy as the status quo.
Today in his weekly web address, Lynn, the president blaming Congress for not helping the economy. Take a listen.
Last week, mortgage rates were at historic lows. But instead of helping more and more hardworking families take advantage of those rates, Congress was way on break. Instead of worrying about you, they'd already gone home to worry about their campaigns.
Lynn, is that a strategy that works? I mean, is there something to what he's arguing regarding low mortgage rates and housing reform?
Well, he's doing, I believe, a preemptive strike in advance of the debate where the focus is going to be on domestic issues and the economy. Now, what he said is true. Everyone who can should go out and refinance. And what he also talks about in that address is that Congress isn't making it easier. But he's had years to work on housing. One of the big miscalculations of the Obama presidency is that from the beginning, I don't think he properly appreciated the gravity of the housing crisis in the United States and fixing that in a way that people could either try to save their homes, refinance even if their home value was underwater, right, but they had equity in it. So I see this more as preemptive, and since Congress is so unpopular, doesn't hurt to blame them.
And here's the thing with housing, Lynn, not to get off on a tangent, but one of the things that's rarely addressed is the fact that a lot of folks who desperately need to refinance their homes, their credit has taken such, it's been battered so badly during the crisis, they don't qualify for the refi.
Well, and I know, I'll do this quickly. That's my point. If you talk about why people might hone in on this issue and why Obama's focusing on this before the debate, where it is likely a reasonable thing to guess that it might come up, is that he realizes that this is a vulnerable area, Achilles heel, and now trying to shift the blame ahead of time to Congress. I say this is a little bit of setting the stage for a Obama vulnerability that people can relate to. This isn't like talking about derivatives or hedge funds. This is what people know.
Shira Toeplitz, when Mitt Romney started this campaign, he was selling himself as the turnaround expert. And he had an economy that was in shambles that helped that argument. But here's the latest NBC News Wall Street Journal Marist poll. It shows that in the battleground states of North Carolina, Nevada, New Hampshire, Nevada, we should note, housing crisis at its worst there, unemployment at its worst there. New Hampshire, voters are split though on who's better at handling the economy. We're starting to see this trend in other swing states as well. Why is this? Why are voters now saying, well, you know what? Despite the last 4 years, I really think the president might be the guy who can turn this thing around.
Well, Mitt Romney never effectively, at least not yet, was able to articulate a way he could turn the economy around. Now, there's still time, as Lynn mentioned, we still have a couple debates, still, I think, 38 days before the election or something like that. But Mitt Romney didn't make that argument, and he didn't make it in those swing states. And that's because Mitt Romney played defense a lot of the first half of this year, whether it was in the primaries or in May when the primary was finally over and the Obama campaign really started to hit him hard on his Bain record. There hasn't really been an opening or an effective way for him to articulate a vision to turning the economy around, and it shows in the poll numbers.
Lynn, if Governor Romney can't hang this economy around the president's neck over the next 3 or 4 weeks, is there a chance that he can beat him?
Well, of course, there is one big blooper from Obama, and the mistake, certainly may change the trajectory of the campaign. But Shira, made a very good point. I just want to quickly build on another reason why Obama might have dealt with housing today. He's doing his debate prep in a suburb of Las Vegas, where, as you know, that it's hard hit, and so again, this is another reason. Reason he's camped out there deliberately is to try and bolster his support in Nevada. And again, I think he's just prophylactically kind of building an immunity around himself, dealing with housing, shifting some blame.
Lynn Sweet there with some insight on why the president may be getting out in front of this housing stuff, and Shira Toeplitz essentially telling us that the new normal with regards to the economy has shifted in a big way in this country. Saturday afternoon insight, ladies. Thank you so much for that. Do appreciate your time.
Thank you.